Nathan Baird and Doug Lesmerises from cleveland.com here at the NFL Scouting Combine. And one of the stories leading up to draft declaration day around Ohio State was just how seriously CJ Stroud was really thinking about coming back to Ohio State for a third season, a third year as a starter, after 2 years as a Heisman finalist and being projected as maybe the number one overall pick in this draft, but certainly a very high pick. And he, in passing today in his remarks at the podium, said, I'm thinking about coming back. You kind of tracked him down, Doug, to get more details about that and how seriously he was really thinking about this.
Yeah, so as we know, he declared on the last day to declare. And so it's like, it seems like a pretty obvious thing. Everybody else has declared what's up. And I don't think he was just dragging his feet. We sort of had, some people telling us maybe he was really thinking about it. And talking to him today, he's saying he really thought about it. And it's just one of those situations where you're looking at a $35 to $40 million contract with where he's going to be picked. You're looking at like $22 to $26 million signing bonus. It's almost impossible. But that he did give it real consideration. And I almost think there's almost like a reluctance a little bit that there were so many things he wanted to do still at Ohio State. He was talking about the relationships you build, the trust you build, the camaraderie, all the work you put into that, and then you give that up and go to the league. And that's how life works. But he mentioned not beating Michigan the last 2 years. He said if I would have won those 2 games, I might have 2 Heismans. Doesn't have a national title. Those things, there were things he didn't get to do. So he really thought about it. And I think in reading him and talking to him, I really almost think he wishes he could have done it. But the circumstances, you just are setting your family up for generations. You're not talking about $5 million. You're talking about $40 million. And so I think he thought about it about as much as somebody in that position could. And that was real, and I believe him. And I think in his heart, he would have liked to stay, but it wasn't a decision you can just make with your heart when this much money is involved.
Yeah, exactly, because with name, image, and likeness now, he could have made $5 million at Ohio State. He could have made a pretty significant amount of money. He already did last year. He did pretty well for himself from everything we've heard last year at Ohio State. But I think that's the difference between maybe being a college guy and being an adult, is when you stop making decisions just based on your heart. And as you said, it would have set him up for a long time. The people that I had talked to, I don't think were really questioning whether he was sincere about those emotional ties and the pull that he still had at Ohio State and how much he still wanted to accomplish those things. I think they always just thought that those things were going to have to lose out to the common sense at the end of the day of the risk that you were going to take to come back for another year. Maybe you get hurt, maybe your draft stock slips. And like we said, right now, he is one of the buzzwords at this combine because people want to see him throw on Saturday. And, there are people who think Bryce Young is the number one quarterback in this draft. There are people who think that there are teams that may like Stroud more, and does one of them trade up ahead to take him, or rather than risk him falling back? He gets to be right now, and he's at the center of the NFL world right now because of this decision. And if he had stayed, that's something you can't take back either way.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. And so he's just a real dude, like it's one of those things that among the realists, and I think you've got to be a real dude to even consider it, and I think he did.
Much more from the NFL Scouting Combine the rest of the week about Ohio State. Talked to Jackson Smith and Jigba today. We've been watching the results as they come in. Get that all at cleveland.com/OSU and listen to Buckeye Talk wherever you can find podcasts.